Hey, good morning. I've slept in the car this night and was battling with the cold till 3 in the morning. Then I've put the car on to put the heater on because it was too cold. The Sigma 18-35 f2.8 2-in-1 circular polarizer and defilter. Why did you put your camera so high you have to stand on your tippy toes, blend in the sky because it's too bright? So now I'm a little bit of a zombie. But it's still beautiful weather. It's very misty in the landscape, so I hope the mist is also here in the forest. And we're gonna get some nice pictures this morning. I've just photographed our first composition of this morning, and it's a very old oak tree, and it really caught my eye because we got some beautiful mosses on onto this oak tree. Super beautiful with this branch coming in to the left of the corner. We got a little bit of haze into the landscape. It's not as thick that I hoped for, but it's still really amazing. And with all the ferns turning brown, and we still got that green moss onto the tree, it's really standing out from the environment, so it's really cool. For this picture I put on the Sigma 18-35 f2.8 for this image. And I've been searching for a good composition of this tree because it's really looking amazing, and I want to show its beautiful features. And I was trying to include this branch here into the frame towards this beautiful tree, but then I thought I was losing a little bit of its beautiful characteristic. I don't know. I was walking around the tree to search for that good composition, but then from this angle, maybe it's also something I will show you. Maybe from this angle it's also pretty cool that we can look into the tree. Maybe it's also something, I don't know. Isn't too bad, right? The settings are 1/6 of a second, f9 for this picture because I want a lot of this tree and the landscape here to be very sharp, and ISO 125 for this picture. It's a next composition that I'm making here. I'm shooting a small cascade here in this beautiful forest, and we are surrounded still by the fog, luckily, so that creates for a cool, mysterious atmosphere. And with the cascade, we got some green moss on the sides, on the rocks. We got some brown leaves in this forest, brown trunks from the trees. We got some green pine needles here. So all those colors coming together, it's so amazing. Just dipped my feet into the water. Not the best start for this adventure. So this is our small cascade here. We got some mist in the landscape, beautiful greens on the side, and also the trunks here are getting lit up a little bit by the light. I've shot it horizontally, and I think it's a better photo because we got more complementary colors for this cascade. And of course, when we are shooting waterfalls or cascades, I'm using my 2-in-1 circular polarizer and defilter to bring down my shutter speed and also get rid of a little bit of the glare onto the water on the bottom of the waterfall. It's still included into the picture, and we also get a little bit of movement over there, and with the 1.6 seconds the movement is almost gone into the water. But maybe when I look at the picture at the on a bigger screen, maybe it's still really amazing to look at. I was just looking at the right side where I'm sitting, and here in the forest I see all spider webs covered in some morning dew. It's really looking amazing. We got also greens, we got some browns, we got the tree trunks, and we got also got some mist here. So I thought, why not take the picture, and maybe it's something nice, maybe not. Let me know. Scrolling on this box of doom, the devil's device, and I've noticed that when I'm scrolling too much on Instagram, I've got mentally blocked a little bit because I'm seeing so much good pictures that I start questioning myself if I'm a good photographer. So recently I went less onto Instagram so I could open up my mind a little bit more. Like, I don't see that amazing photos anymore from all the people that are so good in photography, or maybe are so good at Photoshop and other stuff to create those amazing images, or live something where we're like, wow, you're living in such a beautiful place. And I'm seeing that a lot, and also on bigger landscape photography channels, that you're like, I think it's okay, I don't know, really sure if it's a good composition or not. And I think it's because we're seeing so much from everybody, and we're comparing ourselves always to other people. That's why I think, and that's why I'm looking less at landscape photography channels also on YouTube, because I don't want to compare myself, because they live somewhere else in landscape that I really like, and when I'm watching the videos I'm like, oh, there's a composition, or there's a composition, and they're like, oh, I don't see it today, I don't see the composition. But that's also because they're living there, they're seeing it every day, and that makes it so difficult to find new or interesting compositions, while we are not living in that country, or you guys are not living in this country where I live. So I'm also probably not gonna see cool compositions here that you are like, there's a composition over there. And that's the problem a little bit with social media these days, that it's burning up our brains a little bit and occupying our brains with stuff we don't need. That's my rant about social media, the devil's doom box. And I already saw a new composition here, so I'm gonna shoot that first, because it's really looking beautiful. When I told you I was going to the next composition, I actually didn't move yet because I saw another composition, and I saw this amazing beautiful tree here, this big pine tree. Here's a fallen branch here, and it's creating this beautiful triangle shape, and in this shape I'm seeing a little cascade. So I'm using that triangle to frame that beautiful cascade. We got some beautiful birch trees here, and I'm shooting this with a Sigma 18-35 at almost 18 millimeters, ISO 160 f9 at 1/5 of a second. And again, same like the other pictures that we already took. We got some greens, we got browns, we got a little bit of moving water, but that's further into the landscape, and then the mist in the landscape. This all combined, it really creates for really cool photos. So I'm very glad that yesterday evening I came to this place to shoot the stars. That was last week's video. The 2 hours something of sleep, it's not much, but it was worth having that cold in the car this night to photograph here in this beautiful landscape. second time I can make a composition while I'm sitting down. That's really nice. Now we're finally at the picture that I saw when I was ranting about social media a little bit. The light is so beautiful because in the foreground we got some brown rocks, we got the water coming down, and we got some green around it. And then on top of this small cascade we got some brown ferns, and the soul lit up softly. It's like in Lightroom when you light up a part from a picture. It's just like this. And of course again the 2-in-1 circular polarizer and defilter to smoothen out this water a little bit, because first in the beginning I wasn't using the circular polarizer. I was bringing up my f number to f11 to have a longer shutter speed, but that didn't really did the job properly, so that's why I've put on the polarizer. What I'm photographing right now, so this here is this small, whoa, almost fell. This here is the small cascade into the landscape. If you can see, this is the lighter part that I was talking about, like in Lightroom if you light up something. Then we got the bigger cascade here coming through the landscape or coming through this forest. And I also can take a second photo, but I don't know if I should do it. You see the birch trees here. If I'm shooting in between those trunks towards that little waterfall, I can use the trunks as our frame around this waterfall, and then you can see also a little bit more of the waterfall. So I framed up the composition, like I told you guys, between the birch tree here, and I'm using the trunks as our leading line for this composition. And it's the same waterfall as the previous photo, but then a little bit closer. I had to stand on my tippy toes to photograph this picture. And maybe you're wondering, like, Joris, why did you put your camera so high you have to stand on your tippy toes? Well, it's because here in the foreground we got a small pine tree, and its branches are crossing or frame a little bit. And I was losing a small cascade when I was shooting lower. The branch was just in front of this small piece of the cascade, and I didn't want that, so I put the camera a little bit higher up so we can shoot over this branch and almost get the whole cascade. I've brought down the light a lot, so I don't want to have that super bright spot on top of this picture. It's okay if it's a little bit bright, but I still want to have the focus on this cascade. I hope I can lead your eye first to this cascade, and then you can look around in this picture if you see other interesting stuff. But again, a very nice composition, a very nice photo with all the elements that we have today. It's a perfect day to photograph. I wasn't expecting this actually. I was hoping to have a little bit of mist this morning, but it's staying, so it's really amazing. Just saw this oak tree here with the yellow leaves on it, and I'm a little bit surrounded by pine trees, and with the light catching onto those yellow leaves, it really got my eye. But I'm searching for a good composition or a great place where I do it justice, and for now I don't see it. I can't find a good composition with this tree, because I'm shooting towards also the sky, so I want this tree to stand out, and not the sky in this picture. I think I found the best angle of this tree. It's shooting from this way. You can see the leaves, but the mist is already gone, so that's also a pity because that would help in my composition. This composition is a job for the Tokina 11 to 60 millimeters. I took a few pictures because I'm including some foreground elements to make this picture a little bit more interesting. Because with just the foreground, and there's a small tree trunk that's broken, that's on the left side of our frame, and then we got a small new pine tree growing just on the right side of this broken tree trunk. But that was it in this frame. So I saw a few branches lying around here in the forest, of course, and I've placed one in front of the lens to create a little bit of a leading line, but I thought it wasn't enough, so I placed the second one on top of it, and now I got like a more bigger leading line to watch our beautiful tree here. I also made a picture like this, but much cooler, with an, I don't know what tree it was, but it was also one tree surrounded with other pine trees and the light coming in from the top. It was super nice. I will pop it up on the screen so you can see it. But this one, it's not as cool, but it's the same concept to make this tree pop from this landscape. And now I have to do it again. All for the video, and these rocks are super slippery. Put my backpack over here already. That's all for the video, guys. I'm back. Come along. Maybe you saw it in the video when I was crossing that river. I saw this European beech tree, and it's still got its leaves on it. And with the soft light touching the leaves of this beautiful beech tree, it really caught my eye, and with the mist around it, it's isolating a little bit this tree in this cluttered landscape of a forest. In the back we also got some brown leaves from other trees. It's getting later and later into the day, so the sky is getting really harder and harder. So I hope I can really make this tree pop out of this landscape. I've put on the Sigma 18 to 35 and we are at 18 millimeters because I also want to include a little bit of the foreground. The foreground is covered with moss, so it looks really soft. I really like the soft green foreground in this picture. And then we got our beautiful beech tree with all those colors against those darker, bigger trunks of the pine trees that are overhead. And then with the haze or the mist in the landscape makes it a little bit more mysterious. I took a few different exposures because our highlights are blinking, so I took a few other pictures to blend in the sky because it's too bright. And then I took one for the foreground, also focused on the beech tree at f10. I'm gonna try to photograph it at a lower f number and maybe it will be more isolated. Let's try. I just took a few other pictures at f4 and I'm gonna see in post-processing if it makes a difference in isolating this tree a little bit in this forest, because the lens is focused at infinity, so I don't know if the background is going to be more out of focus than the beech tree, or if the foreground will be more out of focus because we are focusing further away into the landscape. So I'm gonna look at it in post and let you know if it worked or not. So apparently it did a little bit into this photo. So shooting at f4, it made the background a little bit more out of focus. Our beech tree is a little bit more isolated from the background, so it's the focus is less on the cluttered background of this photo. But also our foreground is also a little bit more out of focus, so it's a little bit softer. think this was one of my best photo trips ever. I really liked it with the mist and this beautiful forest landscape. Nice. But thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.